Hello my Linyans, this is Teacher Jello and today we're going to discuss the topic Site Development Plan. This video tutorial is based on your learning activity sheets in TLE 9 Quarter 1 Week 7. So bring out your learning activity sheets and turn your learners module to page 84 to 90. Our learning targets for these sessions are: demonstrate an understanding of concepts and principles in architectural layout and details. Assess building footprint according to architectural drafting standards. Before the lesson, let's have some warm-up questions. I have here some questions for you to answer. The first is, what plan shows the position and the location of the building with property line, setbacks, landscape, and other pertinent data in relation to the site? A. Site development plan. B. Vicinity map. C. Elevation plan. D. Perspective. Your timer starts now. What do you think is the answer? Correct. The answer is letter A, Site Development Plan. The second question is, what do you call the distance at how far a building can be built within the property lines? A. Lot plan. B. Building code. C. Zoning. D. Setback. Your timer starts now. Absolutely correct. The answer is letter D, setback. Before we proceed to our lesson, let's have some unlocking of difficulties. Let us first discuss the different technical terms encountered in preparing architectural job requirements. The first is building footprint. Building footprint is the outline of the total area of a lot or site that is surrounded by the exterior walls of a building or portion of a building. The next is location map. The top view of the site or lot where the proposed house will be built. Next is the master plan. The designer's house or building design based on the needs and wants of the clients. Open lot. A lot bounded on all sides by streets or pathways. Corner lot. A lot with at least two adjacent sides meeting at a corner, meet at the juncture of two streets. Next is the inside lot. A lot surrounded on each side by other lots. Through lot. Lot having frontage on two public streets or highways. Property lines. Line showing the exact area of the acquired lot. Setback. The distance at how far a building can be built within the property lines. Next is zoning. The legal restrictions on size, location, and type of structure to be built on a designated area. Here is the example of zoning classification. Zoning is a method of urban planning in which a municipality or other tier of governments divides land into areas called zones, each of which has a set of regulations for new development that differs from other zones. Now, let's talk about site development plan. Site Development Plan. Site Development Plan is the outline and measurement of the proposed building and its placement on the property. This shows the position and the location of the building with property line, setbacks, approaches, grade contours, landscape, and other pertinent data in relation to the site. The site development plan is drawn using a scale not smaller than 1:100 meters, so the other features found in the plan will not be greatly affected. Next one is site. Site is area of land available for construction or the lot on which the building is constructed. The building site may be a single lot, a series of lots, or a subdivision. A lot is a piece of ground of a specific size. And now, let's talk about planning and designing. A master plan is designed as a visual presentation of conceptual ideas supported by mathematical calculation aimed at giving convenience and comfort to the user or occupants. Next, planning consideration in developing the site. 1. Distribution, orientation, sizes, areas and shapes, circulation, light and ventilation, height, likes and dislikes of the family members. First is distribution. It refers to the placement, location, and arrangement of each room unit in relation with each other as to function and coordination. One example is the relation between the dining and the kitchen, which primarily requires accessibility on food servicing. These areas are interrelated and should not be far from each other. Next is orientation. It refers to the position and direction of the sunrise and the sunset. Many want their bedrooms to face the sunrise, which is on the eastern side of the lot. Others, especially those who work at night, prefer their bedrooms located on the west side. The height of the floodwaters in the locality should also be considered in determining the distance of the first floor from the ground. This is especially true in low areas. In high locations, the floor may be 20 cm only from the ground level. Next is size, areas, and shapes. All rooms are intended for human use. Therefore, it should be planned according to the human scale. Good design always provides ample areas to accommodate furniture, appliances, and other related facilities, including the critical and important lanes or pathways for routine movements inside the house. According to Rule 8 of the National Building Code, under the 2005 Implementing Rules and Regulation No. 7, minimum sizes of rooms and their least horizontal dimensions shall be as follows. Rooms for human habitation is 6 square meter with at least dimension of 2 meter. Kitchen is 3 square meter with at least dimension of 1.5 meter. Toilet and bath is 1.2 square meter with at least dimension of 0.9 meter. Next is circulation. Circulation and the movement of the occupants inside the building should not be hampered by any obstacles nor be deterred as a result of poor planning. Light and ventilation. There is no substitute for good daylight and fresh natural air entering and circulating inside the building. Artificial lighting and ventilation is very costly to those who cannot afford this. According to Rule 8 of the National Building Code, under the 2005 Implementing Rules and Regulations, number 8, rooms intended for any use not provided with artificial ventilation shall be provided with a window with a total free area equal to at least 10% of the floor area of the room, but not less than 1 square meter. Toilet and bathrooms and laundry rooms shall be provided with windows with an area not less than 1/20th of the area of the floor, but not less than 240 square millimeter. Such windows shall open directly to a court, yard, public streets, or alley, or open watercourse. The next planning consideration is the height. A moderate height ceiling allows fresh air circulations, comfortable atmosphere, and preserve aesthetic value of the room. Room with low ceiling has warm atmosphere that requires artificial ventilation. Rule 8 of the National Building Code, under 2005 Implementing Rules and Regulations, number 6. Habitable rooms provided with artificial ventilation shall have ceiling heights not less than 2.4 meters. For buildings of more than 1 story, the minimum height of the first story shall be 2.7 meters. For the second story, 2.4 meters, and for the succeeding stories, 2.10 meters. Above-mentioned rooms with natural ventilation shall have ceiling height of not less than 2.7 meters. Mezzanine floors shall have a clearing ceiling height of not less than 1.8 meters above and below it. Last is likes and dislikes of the family members. This factor is usually considered when the family is rich and can afford to pay for the services of an architect. Before he designed the house, the architect must first interview the members of the family to get information about their interests, hobbies, and the likes. From such interviews, he will get to know whether the family wants a library, a study room, a social hall, a playroom, a music room, a swimming pool, a carport, or garage, servant's quarter, a driver's room, a landscape, garden, a balcony, and a roof garden. Next is building code, a set of local laws that establish the standard for structural design within the community. This is a collection of laws that regulate the building of homes and other structures. These legal requirements are intended to protect the safety and health of the people who live and work in the buildings. They regulate restrictions concerning the construction of buildings to provide safety to the occupants. All construction in an area must meet the requirements of building codes. Some of the designs and construction features covered by the building codes are qualification of person who can design buildings within the area, structural design that can be used, lot sizes for certain types of building, types and sizes of materials that can be used. Okay, now let's have some recap. What is site development plan? The site development plan is an outline and measurements of the proposed building and its placement on the property. This shows the position and the location of the building with property line, setbacks, approaches, grade contours, landscape, and other pertinent data in relation to the site. Next, what are the different planning considerations in developing the site? The different planning considerations in developing the site are distribution, orientation, sizes, areas and shapes, circulation, light and ventilation, height, and likes and dislikes of the family members. What is building code? Building code is a set of local laws that establish the standard for structural design within a community. At this point, turn your activity sheet into enrichment part. Reminder, do not write anything on this activity sheet. Write all your answer on a separate long pad paper. For enrichment activity 1, use figure 2 as reference. Answer the following questions. Write only the answer. For enrichment activity 2, carefully read each item. Choose the letter of the correct answer. Write only the letter of your answer on a separate sheet of paper. For enrichment activity 3, enumerate the different planning considerations in developing a site and requirement features covered by the building code. Copy and answer. And for your wrap-up activity, just provide a brief explanation to answer the following questions. I hope you learned something today. If you have questions or clarifications about the topic we discussed, feel free to contact your subject teacher through text or call, or you may post your questions in your FB group or page. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.